right, welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies might have inspired it. But today on the show, we're not doing that. No, it is the middle of the year, and it's time for our annual Top 10 Films of the Year so far. Returning to join me and talk about our top 10 films of the year so far is Josh Bell from Awesome Movie Year. We have a lot of great movies to talk about here. We got some overlap between our lists and some other picks, so a lot of great stuff. Plus, we get picks from the Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces Facebook group, which you should join. You should be a part of the conversation in our awesome group over there on Facebook, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces. Always happy to continue the conversation over there. You can also follow me on social media at PiecingPod and get signed up for the mailing list at piecingpod.com. We got live shows coming up, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you are signed up so you'll find out about everything we got going on as we continue into 2026. But with that said, let's look back at the best of what 2026 has given us so far. Josh Bell, it is the middle of 2026 and it's time to talk about some movies. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Always
You
excited.
have no idea.
He's always excited to talk about movies.
I love talking about movies.
Except at the midway point last year, you weren't on my episode that time, huh?
Yeah, I felt like, and I think we talked about this when we did the end of the year last year, that I just felt like I had trouble finding movies that I really was enthused about.
Yeah, fair.
Last year. And by the end of the year, I did do a top 10 list and I had movies that I was felt positive about. But I think at the halfway point, I probably said to you, like, if it was a top 5, I could have done it. But
Yeah.
I couldn't even figure out a top 10 with movies that I thought were like pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's disappointing because in past years, I've ended up putting a lot of movies from the early part of the year in my year-end list. I feel like people neglect that a lot.
Yeah, sure.
But for whatever reason, last year I just I struggled. But this year I've seen quite a few good ones.
Right
So
on.
I'm
Right
happy
on.
to be back.
There we go. Yeah, and I think it's been a strong year so far. I think we got a lot of really cool stuff to get into. Some indies, some big movies, all across the board. So, without any further ado, let's get to it. What is your number 10?
So my number 10 is Crime 101.
Nice.
The what some people have termed Michael Mann ripoff or Heat ripoff with Chris Hemsworth.
We say
and
puzzle
Mark
piece
Ruffalo.
around here.
Right. And no, what I'm saying is that, like, yes, Heat is obviously a big
It's a
influence,
big influence.
and Michael Mann in general. I mean, other Michael Mann early crime movies, but to me, I feel like this is a very well-made version of that.
Totally.
Like, I wasn't thinking, oh, this is a ripoff or this is a movie that doesn't, have any original ideas in its head. It's very well acted, I think, pretty much across the board. Halle Berry, I thought, was a real standout in this film, and maybe not coincidentally because the character she plays doesn't have like a direct correlation in Heat and is a bit more original. This insurance sort of broker who decides that she's been mistreated at work and she's going to go in on this crime, and then that turns out to not be a very good idea. The crime doesn't go as it's supposed to. This is what happens in these movies. But yeah, it's stylish, it's suspenseful, it's got some effective car chases, some twists and turns in the plot. Barry Keoghan is a crazy, chaotic guy, and this director Bart Layton, I think his previous film, American Animals, was a movie that we talked about on one of the first ever episodes of Piecing It Together.
Yeah.
And that was quite a while ago. And I think I was hoping and waiting for him to come back and do something else. I think he's done some TV and stuff like that. But that was a bit more of a like meta, had a bit of more of an artistic ambition as a heist movie. But this movie, it works well. So I think if people are like, I've seen it before, you want to see it again. It's not like Michael Mann is making these movies right now anyway.
That is true. That is absolutely true. And yeah, this is actually one of my honorable mentions, and I liked it a lot too. And you mentioned stylish. I think this is one of the best looking movies this year. It looks fantastic. Yeah. The score was great. And it borrows the right things from a Michael Mann-like movie, and it does it really well. So I'm with you on this pick.
Nice.
I will go number 10 with Is God Is, Alicia Harris's directorial debut as a feature director, adapting her own play. And it's this angry, just like fierce, but entertaining as hell story about these two girls who were burned alive by their dad, and they seek out revenge. And it's just like a movie that, speaking of being influenced by things, it really wears its influences on its sleeve, but it does it really well with a lot of style. It's very exciting. It is like a really like cool movie with like a great score, a great soundtrack, and the two leading ladies, they are fantastic, and I hadn't really seen them in much yet, but they both really command the screen really well. But Sterling K. Brown really steals this movie. Just a truly terrifying, like, turn on his usual, like, calm demeanor in a lot of things. He does that, except for it's terrifying. And it's really a fantastic performance. One of the ones that I think is going to stick with me through the rest of the year.
Yeah, I didn't end up seeing this. I did catch up on some stuff before we did this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
none of which I'm going to mention,
No, okay.
but I watched some stuff.
There you go.
That's not one, but I definitely would like to check that one out. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Right on. Let's go to number 9.
So my number 9 is one that I think you liked a lot as well. It is The Sheep Detectives,
Mm-hmm.
the very endearing mystery featuring sheep
Yep.
detectives,
Mm-hmm.
the flock of sheep who are determined to solve the murder of their shepherd, played by Hugh Jackman. And it's the kind of thing that could easily be cutesy and annoying. It's from the director of multiple Minions movies. And so that to me was like a big red flag right there. But it's the perfect balance of cuteness and sweetness, but also, like, for me at least, maybe I'm dumb, but a real mystery that I didn't figure out in ahead of time until the end, and it felt like it added up. So it got a lot of fun, interesting human characters as suspects, some good jokes. The effects, all the CGI sheep, I thought worked pretty well. The voice performances, Julia Louis-Dreyfus especially, are very good. And it's one of those movies that is genuinely like, I think you could take kids to it, but it's also like fully able to be not even just like, oh, well, adults can appreciate it too, but like, no, adults should just watch this because it's just a good movie, straight up.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll be bringing it up later on. And yeah, it's a movie that really anybody should be able to really love, and a movie that surprised the hell out of me. I did not expect that, like you said. And yeah, really fun one. I will go for number 9. Basically the movie of the year at this point, Obsession, from director Curry Barker, which of course has made it like $750,000 or something. It has made $300 million. This kid's going to get to do whatever the hell he wants for quite a while. But really, the star Indy Neverett is who like is the real breakout here. She's just so damn good in this movie, and it's just the cultural impact of this one, I think, is going to be something we're just going to keep talking about for quite a while. And I do think the movie is like maybe a little tiny bit overhyped at this point, but at the same time, it is very creepy. It's a fun premise, even if it's something we've seen done, in various other ways before. And I do really like the way that it like kind of comments on like the anxieties of Gen Z dating and just how kind of screwed up they all seem to be at this point. And so I think there's a lot to like about the movie. But Indy Neverett is definitely the best part of it. And there's also a lot of great memes from this one. So we can't discount that. So
I think we can, but you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a bit mixed on this. I think I didn't buy into the hype like I did a different movie that we'll talk about later.
Okay.
But I agree with you. I mean, it's solid. It's solid. And I think you're absolutely right about Indy Neverett. More like, to me, far more so than Curry Barker. Like, yes, he'll get to make whatever movies he wants. And I saw his previous movie, Milk and Cereal, which was also interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll see whatever he does next. That's fine. But she's really the breakout to me. She is so good and compensates what to me were some of the shortcomings with her performance.
Fair enough. Well, let's go to number 8.
So my number 8 pick is another cute animal movie that adults and children can all watch together, and it's Hoppers from Pixar.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Pixar had kind of a cold streak for a while in terms of box office, but also in terms of people's appreciation of their films. I mean, Inside Out 2 made a ton of money and was fine, but I think people were less enthused. And to me, this is a great version of what Pixar does well. It's kind of a weird, goofy concept, but it has so much heart. It has so much creativity. Great, again, the voice performances, the characters are endearing. The story is weird, but also like you can immediately follow and understand and get invested in what's going on. It has this kind of environmental message, but it's not just focused on that. And I know part of that is maybe not great because Disney is trying to get them to be less woke or whatever, but the balance is there. I feel like you cannot watch this movie and not understand that it has an environmental message.
Totally.
Like whatever was toned down, it's 100% still there, but it doesn't overshadow all the other fun stuff about it. So I like Toy Story 5 too, but I think, as far as what Pixar, what I hope to see from them going forward is original stuff like this that's creative and that is the vision of a filmmaker. I'm not familiar with the director. Daniel Chong is also the creator of, and I'm forgetting what it is. Oh, We Bare Bears, which is a animated TV series that I'm not familiar with, but a lot of people love. But I think giving this guy, the freedom to make a movie that's his own creative vision is what works well for Pixar.
I like that title, We Bare Bears. I want to watch that
Yeah.
now.
All right.
Yeah, I liked Hoppers as well. I also liked it more than Toy Story 5, like you. It didn't make my list, but it's really good. I wish it was like maybe 10% weirder. It's like very
Yeah, that's
weird,
fair.
and it should have been a
Yeah.
little weirder. But
I agree.
yeah, but it's good though. Definitely a good pick. My number 8, I'm assuming it's probably going to be on your list at some point. It's Redux Redux, a killer time travel indie film. I don't really know much about. I didn't do an episode on this one, so I didn't end up like digging into any of it. I watched it on the plane on my vacation earlier this year, and it's just like, wow, okay, this just came out of nowhere and is awesome. Just like all of the kind of expected beats you'd see in this kind of a sci-fi movie, but they're all done with just like such assurance and like kind of new ways, and like it's just a really cool indie and the kind of thing that you get excited when you see and you want to like kind of dig into everyone involved and what are they all doing from this point forward. I also joked on my letterbox, it's basically the third best Terminator movie. But yeah, it's a great one and a big indie recommendation for the year.
Yeah, I love this movie, and it is definitely going to come up later in my list. But
Sweet.
I'm glad that you liked it as well.
Right on. Number 7, what's up?
All right, so my number 7 is Sam Raimi's Send Help, with a great performance from Rachel McAdams, just really nailing every beat of this character, from the shy, mousy doormat of the beginning through her full kind of blossoming as a survivalist, and then into this kind of homicidal rage there later in the movie. And you buy into it all the way. And that's really, really important for a movie like this that goes in kind of crazy directions. It's great to see Sam Raimi come back and do this sort of smaller scale horror stuff. It seemed for a while that not only was he not like making smaller scale films, but that he didn't seem to really want to direct any films at all.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm glad that maybe he's been reinvigorated. I know he's got a remake of Magic coming up.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But that's also a more pared down horror movie. So I think that could be cool. But yeah, I mean, this is, he delivers on some of the really gory moments, and just the battle of wits between Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien here. It's got some dark humor. It's got some fun twists. It's got some slightly questionable CGI, which is a bummer from a guy who pioneered this practical effects, resourcefulness or whatever. That aside, I really enjoyed it. It definitely made me think of Drag Me to Hell, which was the last, Sam Raimi horror movie that's got this kind of mean-spirited tone, which I really like. So I'm glad to see him back. I hope he stays back.
So exciting to get Sam Raimi in a movie theater. That is something to be excited about. I'll be bringing it up again later for sure.
All right.
So
nice.
We know my lists always have some, one might say, questionable choices. So that's going to start right now with my number 7, which is Luc Besson's Dracula, A Love Tale, which is just a fucking riot. It is so stupid and so ridiculous. Other people have pointed this out before me, but I'm just going to mention it anyway. It really feels like he's only seen the Francis Ford Coppola movie, and like he doesn't know anything else about Dracula, and is like, but I want to make a Dracula movie. And Caleb Landry Jones is 100% in, and like, you know what, buddy, I'll be your Dracula. Let's do this thing. It's super over the top, super ridiculous. There's CGI gargoyles for some reason that are like basically like Disney characters. It's so weird and so ridiculous, and I had so much fun with this. I've heard people call this movie boring, and I'm sorry. I could see someone saying it's bad, but I don't know how you can find this boring. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I have not seen it, but I was tempted to go see it when it was in theaters, even with the bad reviews, because I I had an affinity. I don't want to say I like Luc Besson because he's a bad person.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been accused of some unfortunate
Sure.
things.
Yeah.
But I definitely loved Luc Besson movies
Mhm.
early in his career, like La Femme Nikita and The Professional and stuff like that. And he had this sort of like junk auteur status, but I think I gave him the benefit of the doubt for so long with a lot of bad movies that I just stopped wanting to do that.
Fair.
And, so I didn't, and this, I think it was really long. And so that was another reason I was like, I don't want to sit there for 2 hours and had 15 minutes or whatever it is to watch this. But I was sort of intrigued, and you make it sound like it could be fun.
Yeah, you would not be the only one who hated this one if you do watch it. But,
Yes.
we'll see what happens if you ever get to it. But what's your
Right.
number 6?
So my number 6, I feel like we've agreed on so much. I think this is another one that you'll probably have is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
Sure.
And I was somewhat surprised because I was lukewarm on the first 28 Years Later. I liked it. I'm happy to see this whole world return, but I felt like that movie was really disjointed. And I wasn't sure how I felt about Danny Boyle's stylistic approach with all the weird like archival footage and stuff like that. So strangely, my favorite movies overall in this franchise are the ones that Danny Boyle did not direct,
Yeah,
and
right.
that continues here with Nia DaCosta, who does a great job. And I mean, I think for people who liked the previous one, there's it continues a lot of the story, but it shifts the focus to Ray Fiennes' character. Ray Fiennes is fantastic in this movie. I mean, talking about performances that will be remembered. I don't know if he could get an Oscar nomination for this, but he should.
So, yeah.
And he's so good as Kelson, who's this ridiculous character, but he brings all this like soulfulness to it. And you really feel for this guy and the bond he has with the zombie that he's trying to sort of rehabilitate. And then you have Jack O'Connell as this super terrifying cult leader. And that's really the sort of dichotomy in this movie. And I appreciated that the kid character, who was the focus of the previous movie, was barely in this because I found him fucking annoying.
Yeah, sure.
So that was a good change as far as I was concerned. I mean, I feel like it's a good zombie movie. It's a good character study. It does what a lot of movies do well, which is like, it's really about the inhumanity of man.
Mm.
But I think it is effective with Jack O'Connell's character there. And it has that amazing Iron Maiden sequence, which is just one of the best bits in any movie thus far this year.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm weirdly not looking forward to the next one because Danny Boyle is coming back.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Cillian Murphy is coming back. And I feel like they're just going to kind of try to recapture the first one, the original, the 28 Days. But hey, I'll check it out, assuming they actually make it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be talking about this one later, and I'm just as surprised as you because I was also lukewarm on the last one, and really the series in general. I've never been that big of a fan of the series, but Nia DaCosta really put something unique together with this one. So
Agreed.
I'm with you. Number 6 for me is Primate, a simple but fun movie about a pet chimp who gets rabies and starts ripping people's faces off. It is. I expected this to just be like a simple January horror movie, like nothing particularly special, and then we get to that first kill scene and just Peter Jackson-esque horrific practical gore effects, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, they made this movie for me. I am so in. It doesn't do anything particularly new or unique or anything. It's like you hear, oh, it's a movie about a killer pet chimp, and you're like, okay, well, this is the movie we're getting, and it does exactly that. But it does it really well. It's fun, it's funny, and the gore is just absolutely over the top and so great. And we don't get gore like that too often, like gore where it's just absolutely gruesome, and it really goes for it. And on top of that, it is easily my favorite score of the year so far from Adrian Johnston. This score is like almost one ups John Carpenter in some ways. Like that's how much I love this score. It's just fantastic stuff. Really synth based and really really great.
Yeah, I did like the score. I feel like I was hoping I want to have the experience that you described.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun, but it just wasn't as fun as I hoped. And Johannes Roberts, the director who made the 47 Meters
sure.
Down movies, which I really like, I was hoping, I think, more for something. And those are not like campy. Those are serious, like and suspenseful, like well made, intense, scary movies.
Yeah.
And you know, it was fun. I just didn't love it the way you loved it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it's always interesting when someone who makes like serious, intense movies is like, no, you know what? I want to make a movie where a chimp rips his family's faces off. Like
Right,
that's a
right.
nice little, left turn there. So, but let's go to number five.
So as I said, I didn't quite buy into the hype on Obsession, but I have bought in on Backrooms, and that
Okay.
is my number 5 Kane
You are
Parsons
Gen Z
film.
after all, Josh.
Yeah, totally. I feel so young. But and I have not seen the various YouTube shorts that he made prior to this. Like I said, I did watch Curry Barker's earlier film Milk and Cereal, which is essentially a feature. It's like 61 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen the Backrooms shorts, so I don't know anything about the lore. And I feel like coming into stuff like this a lot of times, like I always feel like this with video game movies because I don't play video games, that like there's all these references and things. And the reason people appreciate these movies is because they're making references to things that I don't know about. And there's nothing else to them. And this movie, maybe there's extra things to appreciate if you are familiar with the lore. I know, especially toward the end when we get the company that's exploring the back rooms and all of this stuff. I didn't need it at all. I was just creeped out. I think this movie the production design is absolutely amazing. You know, you think a young filmmaker, maybe they don't appreciate these older techniques, but they built, what is it, like a 30,000
Yeah.
square foot actual back rooms for this movie, which is fantastic. I thought the performances are good. I know a lot of the criticism is like, oh, why did we need, it's all vibes, like the plot and the characters are not interesting. I thought it all worked really well together. Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renata Reinsva are both really good and help make it creepier because you see how this weird space is affecting these people and, challenging their psyches. And at the end, when they start to explain stuff, and I thought, oh God, here we go with that I
Mhm.
don't know about. Whether it was on purpose or not, and maybe the people again who are fans of this already were excited, but I loved that as we're getting an explanation from Mark Duplass's character, it just kind of like fades into the back, like this doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
It's just creepy shit that this woman has dealt with, and she is going to be traumatized forever. So yeah, I mean, I liked it, and then I thought about it, and I liked it even more. So it's good.
All right. Well, I liked it. I did not love it. I guess I did want more. I clearly you need to, be into all this stuff and like get all of those like little bits and pieces to be able to get all of it. And to me, the self-containedness of this one movie just didn't quite work as well. But you're absolutely right, though. Production design wise, it's fantastic. And shout out to this kid for doing that all practically. And he even made his statements against AI and all that stuff. So good on him, and
Yes.
we definitely will celebrate whatever he does next. Hopefully, he does something that's not just more backrooms. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. So
Right. Yeah. I think unlike Curry Barker, who already has like one finished movie and like 2 more movies on the way,
yeah,
I think he's been a little slower to do
yeah,
that. So,
sure,
but yeah, I'm eager to see, and I agree with you. I hope it's not just Backrooms too.
yeah. Well, my number 5 is The Sheep Detectives.
All right.
All the things you said. I mean, it's super cute and sweet and funny, which I'm not always like, a family movie guy, but it really does them really, really well. I was just as surprised as you when I saw, the name of that director who's done these Minions movies. And I was like, oh God, this is going to be terrible. When I first saw the poster, even, I was like, what is this? Because I don't know if you noticed, but when you're like walking down the aisles at the movie theaters, you see all these like animated type movies and like, you're like, is that a real movie? Did they make this? Is the Pout Pout Fish a movie that actually like
Oh
exists?
man, yeah, that does.
Like,
It did.
so
It
this
came and went.
this is one of those, at least I thought it would be. And then I started seeing all the reviews and I went and saw it and I was like, this is just delightful, but also hilarious and also weird and just funny and just all the things you want. And it's also, like you said, a really great mystery at the center of it all. So yeah, it all just really works well and great cast. So I love this one. But let's go to number 4.
All right. So my number 4 is a movie that I think I just talked about on this podcast with you when we did our episode on Tuner and you asked about a recommendation.
Hmm.
And it's Chandler Levack's Mile End Kicks. Just a wonderful, warm, funny, insightful coming of age story starring Barbie Ferreira, who is fantastic and who I really like. I feel like in every single movie I've seen her in, including Faces of Death this year, which was not great, but she was good in that. But so good in this movie as this young music journalist, basically, in her early 20s, kind of trying to find her footing as a writer and documenting this music scene, this indie music scene in Montreal in 2011, and also dealing with the various sexist responses that she gets from musicians and from other writers and editors. And I think, like Chandler Levack's first film, I Like Movies, this has a lead character who can be unlikable at times. It doesn't always do the best thing, but she was less unlikable. And so I feel like I got more out of the movie. There were times in I Like Movies where I was just like, shut the fuck up, dude, go away. And I didn't feel like that way about this character, even though she did do some really stupid things. So yeah, it's just really, really like warm. I think that's the way to describe it. You care about this person, and when she does dumb things, you're like, oh, don't do that. And the people around her, Devin Bostick, who plays her sort of like quasi love interest, and he's just kind of this like goofy shy guy who's in a band. I certainly had an extra layer of identification because I was a alt weekly critic,
Sure.
and did music criticism in my early 20s. I mean, I'm not Canadian and I'm not a woman and I wasn't in Montreal. I'm 10 years older than this character is at this time, but there was an extra aspect of it that to me, when she's like sending invoices and following up and things like that, I mean, the average person isn't necessarily going to really vibe with necessarily. But I think even so, even if you don't have any identification with something like this, it's just a really, really good coming of age story. And I hope Chandler Levack, she's had a great year. She put out this and Roommates on the same day. And I haven't seen Roommates because I'm a very skeptical of Happy Madison, but I would check it out for her because I really like this.
Yeah, I actually had this on my list of things to try to get to, so I will by the end of the year. But it sounds great from what you've told me about it, and I love that idea of like setting a movie around a character like this, and in that kind of a world of like music criticism and all that kind of stuff. It sounds really fun. So
Yeah.
definitely looking forward to it. And speaking of our Tuner episode where you mentioned it on, number 4 is Tuner for me, which
right.
I love this movie. First of all, for anyone who hasn't seen it, because it is a smaller movie, it's about a guy with an ear disease that like makes it where loud sounds bother him, but he's like a jazz musician. He was a jazz musician and he works as a piano tuner, and these guys are robbing a safe, and he realizes that he can figure out how to unlock the safe using those same kind of tools he has with his hearing. And so they start making him do more jobs and things just get crazier. But at the same time, as it's this like kind of weird thriller set around the world of music and safe cracking, it's also kind of like this great little romance. And I think this guy Leo Woodall is going to be just this huge star. I think Daniel Roher is someone who I really want to see more movies from, and Dustin Hoffman is just absolutely a joy in this. He's so much fun, and the score is fantastic. Of course, lots of jazz in there, and it's the kind of movie that we really are always saying that we want to see more of. And this movie came out, and I feel like everyone I've recommended it to really liked it, and I hope more and more people check it out.
So yeah, I liked this movie. I mean, as we discussed on the episode, I liked it. I think I didn't quite like it as much as you did. I think we probably talked on the episode about the final sort of twist or whatever,
Yeah.
that to me was just like so far, like too unbelievable, too convenient, I guess.
Yeah.
That took me out of it a bit. But I agree with everything that you said. All the performances, It's a clever idea, and then it's, it plays out in this kind of familiar crime thriller way, but the characters are likable. And Dustin Hoffman, I was disappointed Dustin Hoffman kind of disappears for the majority of the movie, which was a bit of a bummer. But yeah, I liked this, and I hope he does more narrative films. He's made a lot of documentaries,
Sure.
which I have not seen. But they've been successful. So I don't know if he's going to continue in that realm or making more narratives, but I hope he does that. I hope he makes more narrative films.
Absolutely. Well, what do you got for number 3?
So my number 3 is a movie that I feel like a lot of people didn't care for, but I liked a lot, and I was worried that I would not. But I'm really on this filmmaker's wavelength. It's David Lowery's Mother Mary, starring Anne Hathaway and Michaela Cole. And I think maybe it doesn't do what people thought it would based on the trailers, which is be more of this like spooky, supernatural, haunting movie, which it kind of is in the second half. But it's a lot more like metaphorical and melancholy. Like the ghost/demon thing in this movie maybe is just a metaphor. Maybe isn't really a ghost at all. Maybe is really just a symbolic representation of the breakup between these two women, who maybe they're colleagues, they're friends, maybe they're more than that. We don't entirely know all of it, but this very intimate connection that they've had, and that has then been ruptured and has to be repaired, or attempted to be repaired, between the pop singer played by Anne Hathaway and the fashion designer played by Michaela Cole. And the first half of this movie could be a play. It's just a lot of back and forth talking, and it's a bit slow, but I feel like it really gives you an understanding of their relationship, so that when it goes off into this more supernatural or abstract direction in the second half, you understand the dynamic between these people. It's really, really well acted. It has some really good. I mean, before this came out, I felt like people were talking about, Lady Raven and the character from Smile 2, and that it didn't really get to that point because it wasn't as successful as those movies. But I think the Mother Mary pop stuff is really well crafted. It's believable as like a pop singer's music. And I just love the vibe of this. It's melancholy and regretful and kind of creepy. And I mean, to me, if you loved A Ghost Story, which is the David Lowery movie that I would most compare this to, is very, very much in the vein of A Ghost Story. So I hope people rediscover this, because it totally flopped.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have.
Yeah, no, I've been really wanting to see it. I did not get a chance to watch it yet. It came out like the week before I left on my big vacation. And so definitely hoping to catch up on it before the end of the year. And I've liked everything David Lowery's done. And the casting of Anne Hathaway in this particular role seems so perfect. So, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I enjoy it too.
I hope so too.
Number 3 for me is Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, which everyone said I'd love this movie, and they were just so damn right. I just watched it a couple of nights ago, and it's just absolutely the kind of like silly, ridiculous, stupid, but warm and fun comedy that I just love. It's a little bit Tenacious D, a little bit Bill and Ted, a little bit Wayne's World. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet where it goes, but I was certainly not expecting any of what happens in this movie. I also have not seen the show that it is an adaptation of. I think I would probably love the show as well. These guys are so funny, and they're kind of dynamic between the two. It's a lot of these duos that I'm talking about, but like they kind of have their own thing going too, and it's just great. And Matt Johnson, who, as you know from a couple of years ago, I loved Blackberry. It was one of my top 5, I think, of that year. I'm all in on whatever he's doing, because he has a certain sensibility that is like smart and stupid and like exactly the kind of thing that I go for. And yeah, this one was great.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm curious to check it out, although I feel like a lot of the praise for it makes it sound like something that I would not like. But I will still give it a shot. I'm like one of the only people who didn't like Blackberry, so that also makes me a little concerned. But I mean, I do love Bill and Ted and Wayne's World, so maybe I will love this. I will definitely try to give it a shot at some point. I'm not enthused or not looking forward to Matt Johnson's Anthony Bourdain biopic, which looks like every generic biopic ever.
Yeah, that's a weird one. You're right. Now I'm looking forward to everything he does except that. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Number 2, what do you got?
So my number two, I think, is a movie that you didn't care for, but I liked it more than these big. We talked about Obsessions and Backrooms, these big hyped horror movies of the year. But it is Damien McCarthy's Hokum,
Mm.
which I absolutely love. This movie is everything that I want out of a horror movie, and I enjoyed his previous films. I feel like he's gotten better each time. I thought Caveat was a pretty promising debut. I really enjoyed Oddity, and I feel like this is a level up from the kind of thing that he was doing in Oddity, where it has essentially like a straightforward crime thriller plot, like a murder mystery plot at its core. And then the supernatural stuff augments that murder mystery as a way for the characters to kind of seek vengeance in a way, or trap the person who's responsible for the murder and things like that. This, I think, is done in an even more creative way. Adam Scott is really good as kind of an asshole here. This
Not just
author,
kinda, but
um, who comes to this remote Irish inn to work on writing, but also to scatter his parents' ashes at the place where they had their honeymoon. And I mean, I thought he was believably grumpy. And then he definitely has an arc where, on the one hand, he doesn't become like a great person, but on the other hand, he's able to see beyond himself eventually. And again, get into this murder mystery and try to find justice for this woman who's killed. It's super creepy. It's got really creative production design. So I loved it. I feel like it got a lot of attention, and then these other horror sensations have overshadowed it. But I hope people don't forget about it.
Yeah, I was lukewarm on this one. I got to watch it in Ireland, which was very fun.
Oh
We
yeah.
were literally hiking in those mountains like the day before we watched the movie. I will say, if you go to a horror movie hoping to get scared, this is the movie to watch because it is definitely very creepy, and his sense of like, and it was the same in that last movie, Caveat. Like, he really knows how to stage a scary sequence that like will just leave you on edge the whole time. So it's very effective. I just didn't really care for the story so much, and like so that just kind of all left me cold. But um this guy knows how to make a scary movie, so I'll definitely give him that.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's got a lot of good scares, and he's got this whole like weird little universe of his own cursed objects that he's building. You see the objects from Caveat and Oddity that show up later on, in these other movies, and I think that's fun without it having to become some like big franchise or
Sure,
whatever. So
sure.
I hope he keeps doing that rather than just like we were saying about Kane Parsons, rather than just getting hired to make Final Destination or something like that. That he
Yeah,
keeps doing his own thing.
yeah, absolutely. Well, my number two is Send Help. Like I
All
said,
right.
seeing Sam Raimi in the theater with Rachel McAdams just going for it was just so much fun. And you still get, some of those Sam Raimi visual flourishes that we all love and that dark sense of humor. I still like this came out what, January or February, whatever it was.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
and still to this day in June, every once in a while I'll think back to that guy flopping outside the window and I'll just like start to laugh. You know what I mean? Like so many of those little like just dark humor Sam Raimi things are just so great. And yeah, I just think like a lot of the things you had said earlier, but this is just a fun little simple story, but it works so well, and he just injects it with that Sam Raimi energy that you just really love to see. And I love that it's like a little self-contained story. Like we don't need sequels, we don't need anything else. It's like Sam Raimi blessed us with another little horror movie, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't see how you could possibly make a sequel to this movie.
No, no,
Um,
not at all.
but yeah, I mean, I think the fact that this is, the last movie that he did before this was the Doctor Strange sequel,
Ugh.
like where it seemed like he just completely given up on
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and then to come back with this, like it's fantastic. Whatever it is that has reignited him, I hope it continues because I really enjoyed it.
And the Bruce Campbell cameo was great, by the way. That's it was,
Of
yeah.
course,
So,
yeah.
all right, it's number one time. What do you got, Josh?
So my number one is another movie that we've already brought up. It's Redux Redux.
Nice.
So good. I mean, I had heard some good things about this, but didn't really. I just had it as a like fill in to cover on my TV segment because it happened to play in like one theater here, I think, and I just needed something. And it's just incredibly creative. I mean, you think how is it possible to have a different interesting approach to like the multiverse after, just talking about Doctor Strange and everything, how
Yeah.
this has become this sort of flogged to death big blockbuster thing. But the McManus brothers here really come up with this, not only a creative take on how the multiverse works, but I think to combine it with this revenge story about this woman who is killing the killer of her daughter in every possible dimension
Mm-hmm.
is really is creative. But it also is emotionally engaging. You care about this woman, and then you care about this teenage girl that she ends up connecting with, on one of her missions, and the way that challenges her sense of self and what is she doing with her life. And then all the sci-fi details are really good. It's one of these movies that uses, boxes and trucks and, holes in the ground or whatever, because it doesn't have a big budget, but you really believe all of the sci-fi aspects of it. They work perfectly. It doesn't need to have giant special effects and wormholes or whatever. And it's got a satisfying ending. Michaela McManus. I mean, this is a family affair.
Sure.
It's written and directed by these brothers and starring their sister, and she's fantastic. So I think it's coming up. It's about to be on Hulu. So I hope more people will watch it. I hope these guys get a chance to make another movie and in the same vein, because it's just great. It's absolutely the best movie I've seen this year.
Something about this movie, it's like, it's obviously a different genre and everything, but it reminds me of like Blue Ruin, like a movie that like is a small indie that like everybody is going to word of mouth around constantly once this thing comes out, and like we're all going to be pulling for whatever these people do again,
I hope that's true. I mean, and it is similar. Blue Ruin is also a story about how revenge is not
Right.
what you think it will be,
Totally.
and how it goes wrong.
Yeah.
So they do have that similarity, definitely.
There you go. Well, my number one, again, I'm so surprised by this one, but it's 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
All right.
Like I said, was, lukewarm on the series in general, but also in 28 years later, which I thought was fine. But like you said, it was like a little all over the place, too much going on. But this one focuses in on the two best parts of it, basically, what's going on with the Jimmies and what's going on with Dr. Coulson. Like that whole story with Ray Fiennes, I find so fascinating. And it's like this thing that like, I didn't know I wanted to see a doctor and a zombie figuring out like how to cure this disease. Like it's such a weird thing that I wouldn't have expected to be so interesting and intriguing. And one thing, I mentioned this on the episode I did on the film, but like, and I think you're mixed on these, but the Alien prequels from Ridley Scott, like that's something that I was really reminded of with this movie. It was like something that maybe we don't need to see, but I just find so fascinating, and I just love watching it. And so it's really something that like, it's almost like a thrill of discovery kind of thing. Like you're just like exploring this world in a way that I just found so satisfying. So, and like you said, the Ray Fiennes, give him an Oscar. Come on, just have some balls, or at least let him perform at the Oscars. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that Iron Maiden thing at the Oscars. Yeah, I don't know about that. Get Iron Maiden there live to do it with him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with everything like you're saying. I like those Alien prequels, not as much as you do. I know you love them more than the regular Alien movies, which
pretty
is
much
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no, they're good. They're good. I agree. And I think that they're interesting. As much as I liked like Alien Romulus, I think I like those prequels because Ridley Scott is saying, I'm going to take this in a different, I'm going to explore something else with this, versus what they seem to want to do now, which is just like make a variation on the previous movies, which is fine. So yeah, I like those. And I definitely like Bone Temple a lot. And I hope Nia DaCosta, I mean, I feel like she's been, and unfortunately, maybe this won't happen because this movie didn't do well at the box office, but I feel like she's gotten all of these sort of franchise opportunities and done a good job with them from my perspective. And then just, it hasn't worked out for her. And I hope, she gets either to make one of her first movie, Little Woods, that was just a sort of small scale thriller, I thought was really good. So, maybe she'll go back and do something like that, or get another opportunity, because she really does a great job with this movie.
Yeah, no, she's great, and hopefully she does. And yeah, hopefully that third one, like you said, it's not just, more of, the old stuff, but I mean, it probably will be. I mean, we're getting Cillian Murphy back. Yay.
Right.
So anyway, let's get into some honorable mentions here. Do you got a few things you want to bring up?
I have two honorable mentions, and both of which would have been on my main list, except for one of your favorite issues, which is what is the release date of this movie?
Obsession's not a 2026 movie, so what are we doing? You know?
I mean, I think, as far as being commercially released versus just premiering at a festival, I feel like that's the understanding. So anyway, we'll see. You can weigh in on what you think about these, but I felt like they did not qualify
Mhm.
for this list at this time.
Okay.
But they're both very good. First is Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Chime, which was released in 2024 as an NFT, the best way to release a movie.
God. Wow.
And so could be a 2024 release. But Janus Films picked up the theatrical rights in the US for it and released it in theaters in 2026, which is how I was able to see it. Allegedly, it will not be released in any conventional home format. So either you got to buy the NFT or go see it in the theater. So
Wow.
I don't know. Anyway, it's stupid that they made it this difficult to see this movie because we talk about scary. This movie is freaky as hell. It's one of these movies where horrific things happen and you don't really understand why. And the characters just keep doing weird, unsettling shit for no reason that you can discern. And it just goes and goes and goes and then it stops. And the other reason I wasn't sure about this is because this is only 45 minutes or 48 minutes or something. So it might not qualify as a feature film also.
It's
But
got to fit
whatever it
inside of
is-
a fungible token.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever that is.
There's limited physical space.
Yeah.
They're non-fungible tokens.
right,
They're
right,
not
right.
fungible.
Yeah.
So, Kiyoshi Kurosawa is made movies like Pulse and Creepy, and he's made tons of movies in tons of genres, but he's definitely known for these kind of J horror, and this is very much that. There's this mysterious sound that seems to drive people crazy, but that's only like part of what it really is. And it's just a lot of, like I said, people doing normal things. There's a recurring motif of the main character's wife just dumping bags of cans into a recycling bin. That does not sound at all creepy, but the way he frames the sound design in this movie is fantastic. And then you realize after like the third time she does it, like, there's no way this family drinks this many canned beverages. What is going on here? And it's just so like, why would that be scary? And yet it is.
Wow.
So I don't know. Like, it played here in Vegas at the Beverly Theater for like 2 days. And I have no idea where or when people will be able to see it otherwise. And the NFT sold out, which I guess is a thing that can happen. Whatever. But it's really good.
Wow. Interesting. All right. And you said you have one other one you wanted to bring up?
Yeah. So the other film that I want to talk about is a movie that I reviewed in January because it was set to be released on VOD, and it was pulled from that release like 2 days before the release date was supposed to happen. It has played at festivals in previous years, and I looked this up, and the director has been posting on Reddit to people saying like, no, I swear it's coming out this year. And allegedly the reason that it was pulled was because it was too good, and that this indie distributor wanted to give it a better platform for release. So I hope that that's true. Anyway, it's a horror movie called Dooba Dooba from writer-director Erland Hollingsworth. And it is this incredibly, again, another one of these things where like seemingly mundane things happen that are super unsettling. It's a found footage style movie via surveillance cameras in this house. This family has put surveillance cameras throughout their house because their daughter allegedly has been traumatized by having witnessed her, I think it's her brother, getting murdered. And so she doesn't feel safe unless there's all of these cameras all around everywhere. And the couple hires this woman to babysit her, even though she's a teenager, but she can't be left alone. And the title refers to, in order for her to feel safe about people moving around the house, every time you move around the house, you have to say dooba dooba, which is really creepy after a while.
Sounds great. Yeah.
And it just goes in these really weird directions. Like that's the setup, but there's obviously some other weird shit going on with the parents. And then the babysitter also has her own problem, and she has to get her twin sister to come replace her. And there's all sorts of weird backstory that you get enough of it to know that it's like fucked up and crazy, but it doesn't like give you all the answers, which makes it all the more unsettling. So yeah, so I hope what the director says is true, that whatever the behind the scenes stuff that's going on, if they're trying to get it to another distributor or something like that, that he's correct and that it's going to come out this year, and I can legitimately put it on my top 10 list at the end of the year.
It sounds unique. I'm
Yes,
all
it
for
certainly
it.
is.
And I love the title. I love a silly title like that. So
Yes.
I'm all for it. All right, cool. Well, I'll throw in the list. I had Crime 101 of mine, so I'll throw in Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, which Gore Verbinski just going for it, just totally wacko, ridiculous. I know it's a stupid ass movie, but God, it's like super super fun though. I had a blast with it. Another one that kind of fits, I could say almost the same thing about They Will Kill You, which Zazie Beetz just killing a entire hotel full of cult members. Who doesn't want to see that? It was just a blast. And one more I'll throw in there, a documentary, I guess, or a concert film, Epic, the Baz Luhrmann created Elvis Presley concert film, which I'm not a big Elvis person, but that is just pure entertainment and captured in such a unique and cool way. It's really something to see, especially in IMAX.
Yeah, I am also not an Elvis person, and I didn't like it as much as you did, but I was quite, and I'm not a Baz Luhrmann person. I had watched
Yeah,
the Elvis biopic
yeah.
right before because I had never seen it, and I was reviewing that, and I hated
Oh, I knew you would.
Elvis
Yeah.
so much. And so I thought, oh God, this is more Baz Luhrmann Elvis. No, but yeah, it's really well constructed, and it's great for us in Vegas. It's the majority of it is Elvis during his Vegas residency.
Sure. Yeah.
So, a lot of cool vintage Vegas stuff to see there. I was disappointed in They Will Kill You. I thought it was just sort of like too much. It just exhausted me. And same with Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, which I was really looking forward to because I'm like one of the only people who loved A Cure for Wellness.
Oh,
And so
I
I was
liked
like,
it.
all right, Gore Verbinski is back and he's really going for it with some crazy stuff. And I hate AI. And this is like the only thing that I could say, like, the anti-AI message was a little like, I got it already.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's been done, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I had so much fun with it. I thought Sam Rockwell was a blast, but
Yeah.
I think your enjoyment of Sam Rockwell will definitely, hinder or help your enjoyment of the movie. But that being said, it is what it is. But we'll go on to some listener picks. I got some people from the Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces shouted out some things that we haven't mentioned here yet. I'll start out with our friend Chad Clinton Freeman, who mentioned Michael, which I really enjoyed. I know a lot of critics didn't like it, but obviously audiences have loved it. I had a really good time with it. It's obviously basically a commercial for Michael Jackson. And as someone who runs a record store, I will say our Michael Jackson sales have just gone through the roof since this movie came out, so I'm all for that as well. He also brought up The Bride, which I was very disappointed by. I was really looking forward to it, but I didn't like it too much. And then Sweetness, which I don't know what that is. Do you know what Sweetness is?
I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, I'll agree with you on The Bride. That was, even with some of the negative reviews, I went into that thinking I'm going to love this.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely did not. I mean, I appreciated the big swing of it, but I did not love it. So, oh yeah, this Sweetness. I think I heard about this when it came out. It looks like a sort of stalker thriller, but I don't really know anything about it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's one to check out, I guess. Demetrius Sanders mentioned Obsession, Redux, and then We Bury the Dead, which I have not seen, but he's been trying to get me to watch that all year long. Have you seen that?
yeah, it's not great.
No.
I mean, especially compared to other zombie, we just talked all about 28 Years Later.
Mhm.
It's a pretty underwhelming zombie thing, I thought.
All right. Stephen Hughes mentioned Project Hail Mary, which I liked, didn't love. Disclosure Day, which if I was to add another honorable mention, would probably be on my list there. Obsession, Toy Story 5, which we mentioned in passing, and The Furious, which I had a lot of fun with.
Yeah, that was one of the movies that I caught up with just in the past week or so, and it didn't quite get there, but it's weird. It's like had to me a dichotomy of like amazing action and just total garbage story
Yeah,
and
sure.
dialogue and acting, and that kind of balance didn't fully work. But yeah, it's a fun movie,
Yeah.
definitely.
And you liked Disclosure Day, didn't you?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Disclosure Day, absolutely. It's not a top 10 thing for me, but that's one where I feel like the more I've thought about it, the more I've kind of been mixed on some of the shortcomings, but it's good. Yeah, it's definitely good.
Josh Gilstrap mentioned Send Help, Primate, Toy Story 5, The Sheep Detectives, and Pizza Movie. Have you seen that?
I have seen Pizza Movie. It's fun. I mean, if you love, you were mentioning things like Bill and Ted and Wayne's World, and especially if you love stoner movies, if you like Harold and Kumar
Mhm.
and Smiley Face and things like that, which I do, it's very much in that vein. It's another one of these where it's kind of like at a certain point, it's just a hat on a hat on a hat. It's so much that it gets to be kind of falling apart, but it's fun. Yeah, I liked it.
Right on. I'll have to check that out. It sounds like something I'll enjoy for sure. Joe Black mentioned They Will Kill You, Send Help, Dracula. And then two things we haven't mentioned yet: Scream 7 and One Spoon of Chocolate.
I think your dog is
My
not a fan
dog
of
is
those.
not a fan of either of those movies. I would watch One Spoon of Chocolate because I am a Wu Tang guy, but I haven't seen it yet. And Scream 7, I just have no interest in. Did you see that?
I did. I'm not like, I don't know how much Joe liked it. I would not put it anywhere near a top 10 list, but I did like it
Okay.
actually. I feel like I've liked every single Scream movie. And is it the best one? No, maybe it's the worst one, but the worst one is still pretty good. And I felt like they did find some interesting ways to do new meta things with the franchise, which is what it's all about. And it had some cool kills. To me, the biggest shortcoming was having Kevin Williamson as the director.
Mm.
He's not a director, really. I mean, this is the first movie he directed in like 25 plus years, and he's a writer, not a director. So having someone else in the director's seat with the same ideas, same script, I feel like it could have even been better. So yeah, I'm an apologist for Scream 7.
All right. And then your awesome movie year co-host Jason Harris mentioned Nirvana, the show, the movie, the band, or I just got that backwards. But anyway, he said that it's his favorite movie of the year by a mile. So I'm with him. It's so good. It's so funny.
I will definitely watch it at some point.
Right on. Well, that is it for the halfway point for 2026. A lot of movies to catch up on for everybody. But Josh, tell people where they can find you, awesome movie year, everything else you're up to.
You can find some things for me at joshbellhateseverything.com. I'm at Josh Bell Hates Everything on Facebook, at Signal Bleed on Blue Sky, and on Letterboxd. Awesome Movie Year is now at awesomemoviepod.com. So we've got all our episodes there. Of course, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can check us out there as well. We're at Awesome Movie Year on Facebook and Instagram. We always plug that. There's literally nothing on that Instagram.
Yeah,
It
no.
probably doesn't even, it probably has a link to the old non-working website, and that's all. But it's there.
I'm sure nobody even has a password anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, we can't even change it.
Yeah. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Josh, it's always fun having you here. We'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about some of our favorite movies of 2026 so far. Thank you to Josh Bell for joining me on that one. Thanks to everyone who wrote in with their suggestions, and thank you to you for listening. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you're subscribed. We got a lot of episodes on the way, and you'll find out about them as soon as they come out if you get subscribed. And if you want to find out about them before they come out, you can subscribe to our Patreon, the Produced by David Rosen Patreon, where I post bonus and advanced content from Piecing It Together, from Awesome Movie Year, Josh's podcast, and from my music career. Lots of great stuff over there at patreon.com/bydavidrosen. We really appreciate you just being out there listening, sharing the show, sending in, your puzzle pieces or your picks for these special episodes and stuff like that. But if you want to support the show, it would be very much appreciated as well over there on Patreon. So I always close these episodes out with a piece of my music, and we talked about a lot of movies that came out in 2026, but we left one important one out. That's right, it's Friday and Friday, a film that I scored that is out now on Amazon Prime and on Apple TV, available for rental. And the soundtrack, the score, is available on streaming. It is my latest album release, and I am going to close this out today with a piece of music from that soundtrack. And let's see, which track am I going to play from the Friday and Friday original motion picture soundtrack? I'm going to go with the track called Fridays on It Again, which is kind of almost like a suite of cues from within the middle of the film. We're getting into some of the investigation, some of the mystery, a whole bunch of stuff that's going on here in the middle of the movie. So this gets into quite a few of the different themes. They kind of come together into this track. So this is Fridays on It Again from Friday and Friday, the new soundtrack from the new film that came out in 2026. So it was eligible for our lists. But you should go watch it and listen to the soundtrack. And we will be back with more piecing it together real soon.
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.